In this respect, we can say that proportionality is on the stake. So the response has been proportional, is not signaling that it's going to be interested to have further development, but all the negative ripple effects that are emanating from the Middle East are going beyond the region and are affecting other countries, especially China.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, because I know that that is your specialty. But what do you make of what Iran's foreign minister has been saying, that Iran does not seek an escalation or war, but it will defend against aggression it took and concluded proportionate measures? Do you think that the worst then of perhaps what we've seen over the last few days, of course kicking off with what we saw in Baghdad and of course the follow-up response now, is perhaps over? Or do you anticipate that the Iranians probably still have more noise to make on this front?
On this respect, still we are calling about proportionality. So there will be no further step unless there are provocation. On this, one important factor, in my personal opinion, is that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard carried the attack. So they were able at least to ascertain a modicum of fine-tuning of use of force. Something else, we could have a very different story in terms of escalation if the retaliation was left in the hand of the proxy, of the militia, that definitely are not going to have a restraint than the Russian Revolutionary Guard have.
Okay, interesting. Does that mean that, as you would have just heard in our reporting from my colleagues there, that some of these threats being made against assets outside of Iraq in places like Israel and elsewhere are perhaps less likely to occur, given that we are seeing this being carried out by the Iranians themselves rather than some of those proxies that you mentioned?
Yeah, in this respect, Tehran knows very well that a full-scale war with the United States is not possible. So probably there is some kind of agreement with all the proxy militia to have, for the moment, been just the Revolutionary Guard to take the stance on it.
You mentioned that your specialty is relations between Iran and China, and that what we've seen transpire may have some significant implications for that particular relationship. Explain to us what you mean there.
Yes, for the People's Republic of China, uncertainty in the Middle East, increasing uncertainty, plays very bad in several terms. We are not talking only about energy security. We are talking about the Belt and Road, and to the fact that Iran is a pillar in the development link of the Belt and Road with areas such as CPEC, Sino-Pakistan Economic Corridor, in which China has already pledged $60 billion US. In this respect, also China have to play another game at the same time. We are going to see just in a few days the signing of the truce of another war, that is the trade war with the United States. And this probably reflects the fact of the mild tone that the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs had recently since the killing of Major General Soleimani. If we just recall a few hours after the killing, the spokesperson for the Foreign Affairs in China underlined how China opposed the use of force in international relations. And just a few days ago, in a telephone call between the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Wang Yi, and his counterpart in Iran, China called to the USA to restrain in the use of force and to avoid abusing its force.
What does that mean then for China-US relations? Because you mentioned the signing of the trade deal there, but could it bring Iran and China potentially closer, much to the chagrin of the United States?
In this respect, if we are going to see the trade war with the United States, how to play with Iran and China's relationship, is a bit naive to think that China will stay more on the side of Tehran. In this respect, China is not able to be a security actor soon in this area. But then one thing that we are witnessing in this day is the fact that the security architecture of the Middle East is slowly changing. And the assassination of General Soleimani imposed a faster pace in this change.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.